How we doing? Appreciate the opportunity. Obviously, very, very excited to be here representing Virginia Tech. Excited to represent the ACC on a national scale like this. I want to thank our president, President Sands, who's been phenomenal since we showed up on campus, and excited about our new hire of our athletic director, Brian White, who you guys are going to get to know. I think you're going to absolutely love him. I think he's going to do a phenomenal job, not only for Virginia Tech, but also for the ACC as a whole. We're in a really good position. It's been a sprint since we arrived in Blacksburg, but the guys have been phenomenal. We got three unbelievable representatives of not only Virginia Tech, the game of football, but also for the ACC. We brought these three young men because they've done it the right way. They're appreciative, they got smiles on their face, they've been working like crazy, they've totally embraced what we're doing from a cultural standpoint, from a leadership standpoint. They're killing it academically, as well as doing all the things we need them to do off the field to lead our team to be successful. So we're so proud of these three young men that are with us. But we've been sprinting really since we arrived in Blacksburg, and I think I would describe it as I think we have won the offseason. We've had a great offseason in terms of implementing our standards and our expectations and our culture. Obviously, when you're able to do something unconventional like we did in hiring Coach Pry as our defensive coordinator, I think that really helped. Having someone like that really understood the challenges of the place, the strengths of the place, the institutional knowledge, the community knowledge was extremely valuable. But we've been able to hit the ground running. We are bigger, we are stronger, we are faster than we have been. There's no doubt about that. And I think our depth is in a position to be able to compete. So from an expectation, from a standards, from a culture standpoint, I think we're in a really good place. Again, we feel like we have won the offseason. All that's great. That sounds good in a press conference. It's a great soundbite. The reality is we got to make sure all those things translate to the season and go out and play a style and a brand that is going to make Coach Beamer proud, who was with us for dinner last night. It was great to see him. Bud Foster proud. All of our alumni, Eddie Royal, who's here with us. We want to make all those people proud of how we play, how we conduct our business, and we're excited about the opportunity. So appreciate the opportunity and open up the questions.
Coach, thank you. Your first question will come second row to the right, towards the end, right there at the aisle. Third row, my fault, early in the day here. Thank you.
Hey, Coach, Michael with Plant the Spear. Welcome to the ACC.
Hey, Michael, how are you?
Hey, so in your tenure, you're 4-21 against top 10 opponents. You face one towards the end of this year against Miami. What are some of the lessons you've learned at Penn State that you can bring over here to bring that winning mindset and attitude to the Hokies?
Well, I think the first thing is embracing the history in the past, right, and understanding it and learning from it. But what I also know is there's been a ton of really good things done over my time. Time as a head coach in the SEC, time as my head coach in the Big Ten, time as my experience now, obviously now in the ACC. Kind of got a unique perspective. There's not too many coaches that have that type of experience and that type of background. Also, 3 rebuilds, going to Vanderbilt, a place that had not won in a very long time, and then go to Penn State and follow some of the most difficult sanctions in college football history, and now showing up to a place like Virginia Tech that's extremely proud and great tradition and history. So for us, embracing what the ACC brings, Miami's done a phenomenal job. You look at what they were able to do last year and the run that they were able to make, that's important for our conference, and embracing those type of opportunities. That's why these 3 guys stayed at Virginia Tech to play in these types of games. That's why I'm here. It is critical that we open up the season and play really, really well against VMI. But there's going to be games like that come later on the season that we're going to be judged by, and I'm ultimately going to be judged by. And I embrace that. And I think that's why we're all here and excited about the opportunity about what the season will bring.
Coach, follow the center aisle, third row to your left in the green shirt.
Yes, hi. Dominic Petrillo, unemployed from Warrington, Pennsylvania.
Hey, Dominic.
Hi. From Neshaminy, you're playing days in Neshaminy and Eastern Stroudsburg up to, Kutztown through Virginia, or, up to Virginia Tech through, Vanderbilt, Penn State and everything. You've had a lot of different stops and everywhere you go to, no matter what job it is, you learn something good or bad. So other than never eat ketchup on a hot dog, what overarching did you learn that is going to make you be successful and compete for the ACC this year?
Interesting. Yeah. I think everybody's journey is different, right? And I talk about this with the players as well. You got to embrace your journey. I played Division II football. I coached Division II football. I think those humble beginnings, Marcellus has got a similar background as well, right? Those humble beginnings make you appreciate everything. And I think a sense of appreciation for what you have and your blessings in the places that we're at are more important than they've ever been in college football. When you're in D2 and you don't have a nutrition bar, or you have to wear a ton of different hats as a young coach and take on a ton of different responsibilities, that's valuable. But at each level, there's different challenges and there's different resources, and you got to take advantage of it. Early in my career, we always had to do more with less. And then when you get to a place like Virginia Tech, you got to understand how to do more with more. And that's what we're all about. That's what we're going to embrace. And I think my background and experiences in 3 of the major conferences in college football, as well as my time in the NFL, I think is going to serve me well at Virginia Tech and hopefully put these players in the best position to be successful.
Coach, right side, third row, right in the middle.
Hi, Coach. Gatsby Good with Clemson Association of Women in Sports Media.
Hi, Gatsby.
Obviously, Virginia Tech has one of the strongest traditions in college football. How do you plan on honoring this tradition for old school fans while also putting your own stamp on things?
Yeah, I think that's typically the challenge, right? I think one of the things that's great about Virginia Tech is there is so much history, there is so much tradition. And I think that's one of the challenges, right? When you are trying to make the program more of a modern football program that's going to be able to compete at the highest level, you got to find the balance of those two things. How can we make sure that we're paying respect to the past, but how are we building for the future as well? And that's a delicate balance. It starts by calling Coach Beamer and asking for his blessing to take the job in the first place. It's when we have an opportunity and we're in Charlotte and we can invite Coach Beamer to dinner with us last night and learn from his experiences. Having Bud Foster, who's still in town. And the reality is, what are the things that are critical to our core beliefs? What are the things that matter the most, so that when you turn on the TV and you watch Virginia Tech play, or you're sitting in the stands watching Virginia Tech play, what are the things that matter to you most about the brand, about the university, about the team? Let's focus on those. And then all the other things, we're gonna have to be aggressive. We're gonna have to be bold. We're gonna have to be thoughtful. And doing things that are going to position Virginia Tech, the university, the athletic department, and the football program in the best position to be successful. And I think that's challenging. I think the best schools and the best universities and the best programs have been bold and aggressive in that. And I think a lot of schools have held on to the history and tradition so tight for so long that they haven't adapted and become a modern athletic department and become a modern football program. And that's why me and Brian are here to help Virginia Tech with that process.
Coach, center aisle, all the way towards the back, gentleman on the left with the orange shirt.
Hey, Coach. Bruce Marshall, Sports Byline USA.
Hey, Bruce. How are you?
Hey, how you doing? Good. Quick question about your use of the tight end position. I was at the USC game 2 years ago, and I thought Tyler Warren had one of the best games I've seen any player, any position, the past decade. He was unbelievable. But you look at NFL rosters, it's like half the tight ends are either Penn State, yours, or Kirk Ferentz at Iowa. It's all Penn State and Iowa tight ends. What is your thought? What are you guys doing in your thought how you use tight ends so well? Because a lot of teams don't seem to be using it as well as you guys do.
Well, first of all, we keep Tyler Warren in the state of Virginia and not let him leave. That's where it starts. But on top of that, I think your point is a good one. I'm a believer in the tight end position, and I think your point is a good one. The majority of them out of high school and even in college are just big wide receivers. They're not asked to be true tight ends and stick their nose in the run game and be physical. And to me, that's the only way that they are truly the mismatches that they should be. If he's just a big wide out, then you're going to put him into that category and you can play nickel. But if now you play nickel and now we can motion him back into the box and get him connected to the tackle or in the wing position or hip position, and now we can overpower you because you got nickel on the field, then that's going to create challenges for a defensive coordinator. If you stay in base personnel and now we can line up from 12 personnel but actually line up in 11 or 10 personnel formations, now you're asking a linebacker to cover in space, and typically that's not their strength either. So to take advantage of tight ends and really create the mismatches you want to, they have to be able to do both, and they have to be respected. If you can say this tight end's the blocker and this tight end's the wide receiver, again, you've lost the strength of the position. So we want to be as multiple as we possibly can. We want to take advantage of these body types, but then also having the ability to develop them. Most of these high school tight ends are big wide receivers. They've never blocked before. We just had one show up on campus. He's never been in a stance, a three-point stance in his life. And you got to be able to get him on the sled and get him in the nutrition bar and build that physical and that mental toughness over time. And sometimes that's on the scout team going against Ace and Stevens at practice or whatever it may be. So we believe in the position. We believe in the development of the position. And when you talk about Iowa as well, it's because, again, those tight ends in those systems are being used as true tight ends and not just wideouts.
Coach, thanks for the time. We'll have you switch spots with Kamari, and we'll visit with our student athletes for a few minutes each.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. Kamari Copeland will be our first up. Again, folks, if you would identify yourselves and the agency that you're with. And Kamari, your first question will be first row to your left.
Good morning, Kamari. Tiffany Gardner with Set Magazine. What has Coach Franklin challenged this defense to improve most?
He's challenged us on the details. Every day he's sharpening on the details, whether that be like in winter workouts, touching the right cones, spring ball, doing the right things. Just he's real been harping us on details because that's how you win games. You know, if we all lock in and do details and lock in our details in the game, that's how you win games, and that's how you lose games too. So he's been real harping us on that.
Kamari, to your right, second row.
Hey, Kamari, TJ Wilkerson from PBJ Productions. It's not often you get your former head coach back on the team the next year, now being a defensive coordinator. Can you talk about your relationship with Coach Pry, being the defensive-minded guy he is, and that relationship?
Yeah, so my relationship with Coach Pry is really good. He was actually the only head coach. I was at JUCO before here. He was the only head coach to come see me at JUCO. And our relationship is really good. When he left, it kind of hurt. And when I seen that he was coming back, it was actually a huge reason I was coming back. You know, I had a chance to go to the NFL, and he was actually a huge reason I came back. And he's had top 10, top 5 defenses when he was a defensive coordinator. So I know that we'll be really good this year.
Kamari, left side, fifth row, right in the middle.
Hello, Owen Hillman at the League Winners. What has stood out to you about the transfers on the line so far, Williams and Jones?
Wait, say that again?
What Stood out to you about the transfers on the defensive line, Williams and Jones?
Oh, yeah, we got a lot of good transfers. So Samuel Okunlola came from Colorado. He's a dog, really good pass rusher. Malachi Williams came from Penn State. He's a dog. He's a really good pass rusher as well. Randy Aderica came from Penn State, really good pass rusher, really good in the run. We got a lot of people and a lot of good additions that'll help us out this year. So.
Kamari, right side, fourth row in the middle.
Hey, Kamari, Tony Siracusa from Last Word on Sports. Since you had a chance to go somewhere else, go to the NFL, talk about the pitch that Coach Franklin made to you that convinced you to stay.
Oh, yeah, it was a couple things. One thing was, like, I could come back and raise my draft stock potentially. You know, I could have fell to, like, 5th, 6th round, or I could have came back and tried to raise it. Also, like, my weight, like, Coach Franklin's been harping on me and gaining weight. I came back, I was 280, undersized tackle. I've gotten up to, like, 300. The most I weighed was, like, 305. That is a lot of development. So just things of that nature. And then I felt like there was a lot of things that last year I left on the table, whether that be, like, my pass rush. There were some games I was just running down the middle of a guy and not really working a move. So I felt like there was a lot of things I left on the table. And last year we ran more of a 3-down defense, and this year we're running a 4-down. So just things of that nature. And I think I can show a lot more to the scouts. And graduated. Yeah, I graduated too. Yeah, that was the main thing. That was an important thing.
Kamari, follow the center aisle up towards the back to the left.
Connor Arthur, WDBJ7. Kamari, you've been through this transitional period, a new coach, a new athletic director, and soon a new university president. This reestablished Virginia Tech team, the merch says it all. You've been a leader through this. What is the team saying right now? Is the team confidence like Virginia Tech is really back?
Yeah, Coach has harped on us all year. Like, you've seen the Virginia Tech team last year. Not last year. The Virginia Tech team there was before. You know, we want to get back to that old Virginia Tech defense. We want to get back to that old Virginia Tech. And we're going to work as hard as we can. Coach Franklin is harping on us on stacking days. Like, what can I do tomorrow to watch as much film? What can I do to lift weights as hard as I can, be intentional about that? And we just been focused on stacking days. Like, if we look forward into UVA or, like, whatever, winning championships, that doesn't matter. Like, we trying to focus on stacking days and doing what we can to be the best team possible. So we just been focused on the next play, next day.
Kamari, your last question will come from the podium. You grew up in a military family and a sports family. How is it that military background has helped you both in the classroom and out on the field?
It's helped me out a lot. I know my pops probably watching this, but my dad been in the military for, like, I believe it was 27 years, and they've always harped on us to work hard, like anything you ever want. My dad worked real hard to put us in the position we are now, and I remember there was days where I was like 8, 9 years old. He had us, like, running and mounting Trashmore, doing a lot of stuff on the track, and I didn't understand then, but I understand now that, like, anything you want, you got to work for it, and it's paying dividends now. So huge credit to him. Shout out to you, Pops.
Kamari, thank you. You and Tyson can switch spots.
Yep.
Tyson Flowers will be with us for a few minutes. If you would, please identify yourselves and the agency that you're with. Tyson, your first question will come second row to the right.
Hi, Tyson. You played under your father at Southwest Christian. Can you just talk about the mentorship that he gave you and how he helped you become not just a leader, but the man you are today?
Yeah, so I played for my dad I played for him in 8th grade, so he helped coach my middle school team and coached me all throughout high school, and that's an experience I wouldn't trade that for the world. It's something we talked about my whole life, and I think it's important just as a young man growing up, having a dad around. I think that makes a big difference, and so I think his development, him helping me develop as a young man and as a football player is unparalleled, and so I loved it. There's definitely ups and downs that came with it, and I think I remember my first fall camp. He told me, like, you're not allowed to ask any more questions. He would bench me at times, and when I was younger. But, as I got older and understood how to, go about my business more and more, those are some of the best memories of my life. So I loved every minute of it.
Tyson, left side, about the fourth row in the middle.
Hello, Owen Hillman at the League Winners. Speaking of development, how have you seen Quentin Reddish develop and grow at the strong safety spot from year 1 to year 2?
I think Q's really special. Like his size, his length, his speed, how he can move, his athletic ability at his size, like that blows my mind. And I think one of the first things that I realized when I got to Virginia Tech and started being on the field with Q is like he's so smart for how young he was when I first got here. Obviously he's going into year 3 now, but he's so smart. And I think for me it's nice because the more time we've spent together on the field, I feel like we see the field the same exact way. And so that gives me a lot of comfort, and I think him a lot of comfort on the field as well, knowing that we see the field the same way, and it makes our jobs a lot easier. But yeah, he's put on some size, got some size back this off season, and he's running and rolling, hitting really fast speeds on the GPS, and obviously still super smart football player. So I'm excited for what he's going to be able to do this year, getting a full year under his belt.
Tyson, right side, fourth row, almost to the wall.
Katrina Sackins, Sports and Culture Media. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. There's typically a saying that says it's a marathon, not a sprint. Well, Coach said, hey, it is a sprint, and we feel like we've won that sprint in the offseason. How do you funnel that energy into success for the season?
I think that's a day-by-day process. I think it's not something that you just achieve and now, okay, we've won the sprint for the offseason, now great, now we're going to go win 12 games. I don't think that's how it works. I think it's a good start. And I think Coach Franklin will be the first to tell you too that it's like this is only the beginning. Like we still have to finish out the summer, right? And that's a day-by-day process where you have to come in every day and focus on, okay, how can I dominate in the weight room today? How can I dominate on the field today? How can I dominate in the film room today? How can I dominate on the football today? There's so many aspects of your game that you got to work on. And it's something you have to commit to every single day. It's not something you'll ever achieve. And I think that'll just trickle into camp, right? Can we dominate camp practice number 1? Can we dominate camp practice number 2? Because you got to focus on what you can control. All you can control is the present moment. And so I think if you can focus on being as present as possible and winning every single day, then I think the rest of the things later on in the season will fall into place. But yeah, I think it's just a battle to stay present and to win every single day.
Tyson, your last question will come to the right side, first row.
Tyson, Dan Tortora, wakeupcalldt.com. From Fort Worth to Houston when you were at Rice to now Blacksburg, how has Virginia become home and just what this Hokie Nation has meant to you?
I loved my time at Rice, and I don't think I would trade it for the world. I loved Coach Bloomgren and Coach Smith and those guys that I played for. I feel like I developed so much just as a young man and as a football player, and I feel like I owe a lot of that to them, and I'm so appreciative of them, and they mean the world to me, and so I wouldn't trade that for the world. That being said, Houston is for some people, and the big city is for some people. I don't know if that's for me. And both my parents played at Arkansas, and my mom coached at Arkansas for a little bit, so I lived there. And the first thing that I remember, Coach Goove picked me and my dad up from the airport when I was coming on my visit here. And we're just driving around Blacksburg and driving around the campus, and Fayetteville's bigger than Blacksburg, but it reminded me a lot of Fayetteville. And so it felt like home. I love the slower pace of Blacksburg, the importance of Virginia Tech. Like in Arkansas, there's no other pro teams around. Like everyone loves the Hogs, and so I think it's the same thing here. There's not any pro teams or big schools around Blacksburg. Everyone loves the Hokies. And just the excitement that the fans and supporters and everyone around Blacksburg has for Virginia Tech, that makes you feel so good. It makes it feel like home, even when you're so far away. Like the acceptance that you get from the supporters here at Tech is unparalleled, and it's what makes Virginia Tech unique. And so I've loved my time here, and I wouldn't trade it for the world either.
Tyson, thank you. If you'll switch with Marcellus, we will spend some time with Mr. Hawkins, and we will wrap up our stint with the Hokies. First question will come second row, right side.
Thomas Christopher of the League Winners. As a former D2 athlete, can you just talk about your experience at Central Missouri, how it helped you develop into the player you are now, and what was the initial transition life like into a P4 program?
I think at Central Missouri, I was just focused every day on just getting better, knowing that one day my time will come. I feel like God gives all his soldiers different battles so that they're ready whenever their time comes, whenever it is that time to just perform. So, yeah, I had a great time at Central Missouri, and I'm super excited for the future at Virginia Tech.
Marcellus, right side, first row.
Marcellus, Dan Tortora, wakeupcalldt.com. You've gone through injury, you've gone through adversity. You just spoke about your faith. How do you lean on that faith daily, and how have you navigated through the things that are out of your control?
Yeah, the things that's out of my control, I just leave that up to the Lord, and just control what I can control, just working hard every day, just trying to give my best efforts every day, not really looking too far ahead, just staying in the present.
Marcellus, from the podium, I'm curious, on one of the websites we found, you listed cooking as one of your interests. You like to cook. What's your go-to when it comes to fixing a meal?
When it comes to fixing a meal, I think I cook the best ramen noodles. I'm real good. I'm real good at putting things into the microwave. That's really all I got.
Folks, if you had that on your bingo card, you can now cover that up. Your last question, it'll be a tough follow-up, I know. Follow the center aisle up and to the right, gentleman in the hat.
I like following up with these kind of things. Anyways, good to talk to you. How important is it for you to play for a coach who, number one, did an exceptional job cleaning up a mess at Penn State and succeeded on the field, and has a proven track record of winning not only at Vanderbilt, but what he did in Penn State? And this guy tends to produce a lot of pro players. So much respect for your coach. What's it like to be able to play for a guy like this?
It's exciting, man. Just him coming in with the excitement he has in every day and just getting us to just stay excited about what we have ahead. He did a lot of great things in the past, and I'm ready to get things rolling with him for the new Virginia Tech.
Marcellus, you're great. Thanks for the time, Virginia Tech, and good luck this season.
Appreciate you guys.
Folks, we've got about a half-hour break. Louisville is due up next at 11 o'clock. Thank you.